Hey everyone, and welcome back to today's Explainer. We're going to be decoding some of the absolute most fascinating and honestly widely misunderstood social taboos on the planet today. Have you ever wondered why certain behaviors that feel, completely normal and super polite to us might actually be deeply offensive somewhere else? Well, today we are diving straight into this profoundly compelling concept known as the Russian soul. Kind of sounds poetic, doesn't it? But this underlying cultural identity strictly governs a very specific set of unspoken etiquette rules. And trust me, if you don't know these rules, you're going to find yourself in some seriously awkward situations real fast.
So let's picture two scenarios. First, you walk up to someone and encounter a totally stern, unsmiling expression. Now, to a lot of us, that face literally screams, "Hey, I'm upset with you," or "Back off, I'm unapproachable." Okay, now picture scenario two. You attempt a completely mundane, everyday action, a friendly handshake across a doorway threshold. In a ton of cultures, greeting someone at the door with a big smile and an extended hand, that's the gold standard of politeness, right? But here, well, these two simple actions actually represent massive cultural divides. So why exactly is this a massive mistake? I mean, why do actions that feel so incredibly welcoming to outsiders act as absolute deal breakers here? Just imagine walking right up to a new acquaintance's front door, smiling warmly, reaching your hand out to greet your host, and boom, the entire social atmosphere just instantly freezes. You've literally just committed a major faux pas without even stepping foot inside the house. It creates this huge curiosity gap, right? We've got to figure out exactly why these seemingly nice actions trigger such a heavy negative response.
Let's get right into Section 1, the no smile rule, and start decoding that stern expression.
Now, as an outsider, it is incredibly easy to completely misread a room when literally no one is smiling at you. I mean, we're heavily conditioned to look for smiles as our baseline indicator of safety, politeness, and agreement, right? But here's the thing. A stern expression does not mean anger. That unsmiling face you might encounter is just a highly specific cultural norm. It is absolutely not an indicator of personal hostility. It doesn't mean the person is mean, and it for sure doesn't mean they're being rude to you. Actually, in the context of the Russian soul, smiling without a genuine significant reason can be viewed with genuine suspicion. It's all about authenticity. Reserving your smiles for moments of true joy or just for your close relationships, that's the standard. So, the next time you see that stern face, just reframe your thinking a bit. It's really just the neutral default, not an attack.
Moving on to Section 2, thresholds and handshakes, which is also known as the doorway taboo.
Okay, so this is where we shift from how you look at someone to how you physically interact with them and the environment around you. Listen, never do this. The physical space of a doorway carries an immense amount of unspoken weight in this culture. Shaking hands across a doorway threshold is a boundary you simply should not cross, period. Think about it. You're standing outside, your host is inside. The doorway is the literal and symbolic border between the chaos of the outside world and the sanctuary of the home. To just casually reach across it, instead of fully entering or fully exiting before you make physical contact, totally violates that boundary. It's going to immediately signal to your host that you have zero understanding of their customs.
Which brings us to Section 3, the glove taboo, bare hands only.
Obviously, given the freezing climate, wearing gloves is just a basic survival necessity. But when it comes to human connection and that handshake we've been talking about, those gloves introduce a whole new layer of potential offense. There's actually only one acceptable procedure for a proper greeting here. Step 1, take off your glove. Bare hands only. Leaving a glove on during a handshake? Yeah, highly disrespectful. Step 2, cross the threshold. You absolutely must be fully inside the room or fully outside. No awkward hovering in the doorway allowed. And finally, Step 3, shake hands. So only after the glove is off and the boundary is fully crossed do you actually make contact. It's literally a step-by-step dance of respect. If you mix up the order, say if you shake with the glove on, or if you try to shake while stepping over the doorframe, you completely fail the etiquette test.
All right, Section 4, defining the Russian soul. Let's explore this cultural iceberg.
So, we've looked at the surface-level behaviors, right? The stern faces, the doorway panic, the hurried removal of gloves. But this right here is the engine driving the whole shebang. The Russian soul is the profound underlying cultural identity that strictly governs all these unspoken rules of etiquette. See, these rules aren't just arbitrary hurdles designed to trip up visitors. Not at all. They are the outward manifestations of a really deep psychological and cultural context. The strict insistence on barehanded contact, the absolute respect for the threshold of the home, the demand for authentic, non-frivolous facial expressions, every bit of it is anchored right here.
Once you grasp that this identity values deep authenticity, respect for boundaries, and genuine connection way over superficial pleasantries, suddenly, these seemingly bizarre taboos make perfect, logical sense. So, that leaves us with a pretty fascinating mirror to hold up to ourselves. Let me ask you, what are the unspoken etiquette rules in your own culture? We've just decoded the invisible iceberg of the Russian soul, but hey, you have one too. Really think about the automatic behaviors you just expect from strangers every single day. What doorway taboos or unspoken greeting rules are secretly governing your life, so deeply ingrained that you literally don't even realize they exist until someone breaks them? Understanding how deeply culture shapes our most basic interactions is the first real step to truly understanding each other. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you next time.